Hey everybody, you're watching CAD Roll Hunter. The price of silver just continues to go up and up and up. Nobody knows how high it's going to go. What if I told you there is a way that you can get premium silver below spot price? That's right, below spot price. I'll tell you all about it. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, this is James and you're watching my channel CAD Roll Hunter, and silver has just been on an absolute tear. If you watch the channel, you know I am not primarily a silver stacker, but a big chunk of my collection is made of silver. Typically circulation coins. I have a small handful of rounds or 1 ounce coins and bars, similar to what you see here. Normally, these products carry a pretty significant premium above the bullion value of the metal itself. But I have found maybe a little glitch in the system, and if you act soon, you might be able to get the same deal. These here are 2025 issues of the 1 ounce silver bar and the 1 ounce treasured maple leaf. This one has the snake privy that you can just see on the front there for the year of the snake. These are being sold by the Royal Canadian Mint. And right now, if you go on the Mint website, if you can still get the 2025s, they are selling for $94.95. So there is your premium over spot. Now, mind you, that premium was significantly higher a couple of weeks ago when the price of silver was a lot lower. But right now, as I'm filming this, silver is at $75.90 an ounce. Now, I just bought these. I bought this 1 ounce maple leaf today, and on the day of filming, this is actually Thursday, October the 16th, and I bought these guys a couple of days ago. So I bought these on the 14th, these today on the 16th, and I paid $69.95. On both of these days, that was actually quite a bit below spot. Today, that is almost $6 below spot. A couple of days ago, these were more like almost a few dollars below spot. Now, you're probably wondering, where on earth did you get these and how? Well, some of you, if you are Canadian, you might notice that a place where you can see Mint products being sold is actually at the post office. Now in Canada, Canada Post was on strike and the offices were closed, but they reopened on Tuesday, and I had a backlog of packages that I had to send. In fact, I'm sending out coin roll hunting mats for those of you who purchased them, so I appreciate your patience while I was trying to sort out all the shipping. So I went in there, and I have to pass right by the coin display, and I could see this little bar sitting in the front with a price tag of $69.95. I have been very aware right now of the price of silver on the spot market, and I was very aware that that was below the price. I asked the guy behind the counter, hey, do you have any more of these? And he said, I'll check the back. And he had one more, so he had two. And he said, yeah, somebody just came earlier this morning and bought all of our treasured maple leaf coins. Bought all of them. I didn't ask him how many they had that the person bought, but they didn't have any more in the store. So I said immediately that I would take these too. Now, right at that moment, there was a couple at the display case looking around at the coins that were on there. And I had said that this was a good deal. And he said, yeah, I think it's below spot. I said, yeah, it is. When I bought these two and they found out there were no more, they just left. So I think they were doing exactly what the guy who came in the morning did, which was just buy all the stuff out. So the clerk at the counter wondered if maybe that the person who bought all their maple leafs didn't notice the bars. Now these typically go for maybe just a little bit less of a premium. These are bullion bars as opposed to a coin with a face value. This is a $5 coin. This is 2025. But for all intents and purposes, this is silver and it's below the spot price. But in any case, I bought both of them. Well, I went to a couple of other post offices right after I bought them, and nobody had any of these things in stock. Fast forward to this morning, and I went in, and this is in the case with a price of $69.95. It was the same clerk. I said, hey, do you have any more of those? And he said, we found that one in the back. I think that's the only one. But he went and took a look. Sure enough, they didn't have any more, but he rang it through and it came up as $69.95. And they had the 2026 Maple Leaves there. And those were listed at $94.95. So they'd already raised the price. So what's happened is that the Royal Canadian Mint would sell these to the post office as a separate entity, and that price was set some time ago. And the Royal Canadian Mint has actually raised the price, I think, a couple of times on their website for the 2025 products, but Canada Post didn't follow suit. Now just consider how fast the price of silver has increased over the span of the strike. Before the strike started, the price of silver was below the price for these bars. So the premium had been shrinking as the melt value of silver was increasing. But before the strike, these were all still priced above the spot price of silver. By the time the strike ended and they opened the offices again, the price had increased to such an extent that now they were below spot. So that probably got some people noticing. So if you live near a Canada Post outlet, go right away if you're interested and let me know if they have any of these in stock and if you're able to get them. Now, buyer beware, of course, in that we don't know where the price of silver is going to go. So clearly the people who ran to all the post offices and bought all the stuff they could buy have an expectation that the price of silver is going to increase. It could just as soon fall. We could be back down to $35 an ounce silver. Who knows? But everything I'm seeing right now, the indications are supporting a higher price and potentially even more increases. I don't tend to like to speculate, but I thought, you know what? I'm not buying 100 of these. I'm just buying a few. So I thought I'll take the chance on that. And so I picked these up. So if you hurry, if you're interested in buying silver, premium silver below spot, you might want to check out your local Canada Post outlet and think about some of the smaller retail outlets like you might see in like a Shoppers Drug Mart or other drugstores, because many of them also carry some of the mint issued coins as well. So you might want to check that out. So yeah, so this is, of course, Canada is very well known for the quality of our bullion. These coins here are 4 nines fine, so 99.99% pure. It's just a beautiful classic design. Charles III on the back of that, 2025. And of course, these bars here, also 1 ounce. They're just a different format. 4 nines fine silver with all those Royal Canadian Mint logos on the back. Beautiful, beautiful silver. So I don't have a lot of bars and maple leaves in my collection, but I have a few more now. And the price seemed right, at least compared to the spot price of silver as it is right now. So let me know if you're able to pick any up or if the stores have been cleaned out. I figured while I've got you here, we'll just take a little bit of a closer look at this maple leaf. I've put it under the scope there. We can see here that snake privy for the year of the snake. We're going to get a little glare off the plastic on here, but maybe we'll take a look at some of the details. Those radial lines. It's not just part of the design, it's also a security feature. They're really hard with that level of fineness to reproduce. We'll take a look at the other side here. So we've got, there is Charles. This side with the plastic and everything is not really getting a great look at that, but maybe we'll take a peek here at one of these bars. These are actually just beautiful classic design as well. And if we can see it without the glare, and there is the other side as well. These don't have a serial number. A lot of silver bars that you can find do, but these 1 ounce products from the mint don't. But I'm going to keep them in this mint packaging, of course, because that's going to keep them looking beautiful. Now, this wasn't the only silver that I bought this week. I was at the Waterloo Coin Society meeting earlier this week, and there's a 50 lot auction. every month at the meeting, and I participated in that. These two Canadian silver dollars, they're 80% silver, came up at auction, and so I was bidding on these, and interestingly, I got these well below the melt value. So at about $73 or so per ounce of silver, that would put every dollar of Canadian 80% silver at about, I will say 42 times face. So $42 would be the melt value of every silver dollar. I bought this one here, this 1967 commemorative, and you can see it is somewhat impaired. It's got some odd toning on it. It's in relatively nice condition. Otherwise, it's not all that attractive on the obverse for sure. But this is basically junk silver. You can get these in pretty high grade in the junk silver bin. I bought this for $29. And this one here, 1964, same thing. This one's actually in worse condition. It's got lots of scratches on it. So it's really just scrap or junk silver. I bought this for $28. So I thought that was pretty interesting, having just had the experience earlier that day of going and finding out somebody had bought all the maples at $69.95 and may have missed this. And I bought these because it was attractive to me that these were under spot. Taking into consideration, of course, the fact that this is premium bullion that actually would carry a pretty significant premium over the spot price or the melt price of silver. But in any case, people were clearly going out of their way to pick this stuff up. At the auction, and the meetings are pretty well attended, no one else bid above the $28 or $29. So I got these for a pretty significant discount on the price of silver, while other buyers got cold feet. It wouldn't be unusual when silver prices are more stable for items like this to at least go for their melt. And of course, if they're higher grade, they might go for more than that. But it would be really unusual for coins to go under melt. The fact that these went for $12 or $13 below the melt value is pretty significant. And it suggests to me that there's a pretty big segment of collectors and stackers out there who are seeing a bit of a bubble in silver. That remains to be seen. Let me know in the comments below if you think that A, buying this kind of stuff for $69.95 made any sense, or if even buying any of this for 28 or 29 times face made any sense. I think some people are getting a little bit nervous about just how quickly the price of silver has run up. And you know what they say, what goes up must come down, and the faster it goes, the harder it falls is what they say. But there's enough anecdotal evidence, at least on YouTube, if you're watching YouTube videos, to suggest that there's a bit of a supply crunch. There's a lot of industrial demand for silver, and that for perhaps the 5th year in a row, supply is not going to meet demand. And it's also possible that demand is just going to continue to rise. So we will see. I've never paid, or I've rarely paid this much for what I would consider junk silver. I've been used to buying it for a fair bit lower, but I mean, prices were a fair bit lower. So anyway, let me know. I'd love to know your thoughts about where silver is. Is it bound to continue to rise? Is it going to plateau somewhere, or is it going to just drop? Are we in a bubble? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. Were any of these good buys? I don't tend to want to be too speculative because you just never know, and silver's gone up and silver's gone down, but these all seem to me to be a pretty good deal, at least at today's silver price. If it'll seem like a good deal in a week or two, who knows, or a month or two. Same thing here. It's hard to imagine. At one point, I wouldn't have thought that paying $28 or $29 for junk silver per dollar would be a thing, but there it was, and it seemed like a good deal when you're looking at the spot price being at $73, $74, now I think $76 an ounce. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this a little bit of a different video looking at some of the silver stuff I picked up and talking about the conditions in the market. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, Cadroll Hunter, please go ahead and hit that button. I hope you do that. It would let you know when all of my new videos are coming out. I have new videos coming out all the time. Sometimes it's about silver. Most of the time it's coin roll hunting, it's coin collecting, anything numismatic goes on my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate it. We'll see you again next time.
The sponsors of today's video are Lighthouse Canada and the Charlton Press. Lighthouse Canada is the leading supplier of high-quality numismatic supplies in Canada, and the Charlton Press is the leading publisher of coin and paper money catalogs and price guides for Canadian collectors. Go check out their online stores today and use the exclusive discount code CRH20 for 20% off all your purchases.